Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we will be looking at deck from the Fort Wayne Regional Championship in the Master Division. So credits go to Jimmy Pendarvis, who actually managed to get first place with this build. So the first two decks were actually Yveltals, and to be honest, I'm not surprised because this is probably the most popular deck in the current standard format. So first of all, we probably noticing here in this list no Ninja Boy. So this is the first thing that I actually noticed watching this list. No Ninja Boy, so basically he is not allowed to go with the Ninja Boy. For example, from the Yveltal-EX down to Baby Yveltal or maybe even Trubbish just to, knock out one of his Pokemons for maybe one prize in some kind of crazy situations, or maybe just a surprise opponent with Baby Yveltal Ninja Boy up to Yveltal-EX, or maybe even just to be able to remove Shaymin with the Ninja Boy in case his opponent actually played Pearl City to him. But as you can see right there, he actually played that Delinquent, so Pearl City was not a big deal for him. I actually have a lot of experience playing against this deck, and to be honest, it's very hard to play against it. I find myself actually countering deck with my Darkrai Giratina easily with one copy of Pokemon Central 8 in my deck. This is just because when I actually have Central 8 and when my opponent strikes with the Pitch Black Spear for 60 and spread 60 down to the bench, somehow that Pearl Central 80 actually helped me a lot to prevent my opponent from being able to take two prize cards. I mean, there's no reason to take Mr. Mime in your build because if your opponent can bring that Garbodor in play, it will just anyway shut down Mr. Mime abilities, so it just does not make any sense. So 11 Pokemon, 36 trainer cards, and 13 energies, so 4, 9 energies. Speaking about 9 basic energies and 4 max elixirs makes a lot of sense. 10 would definitely be a perfect speed spot, but even 9 is not that bad. But having 10 in this build would be just so hard to see. So 2 Shaymin-EX for the setup, 2 Baby Yveltals, 3 Yveltal-EX. So this card was first introduced back in 2014, same as the Darker with that Dark Lock and Night Spear attack. It's just very popular in the darkness decks, and right now, probably in the Sun and Moon, we shall see that Umbreon-EX a lot played in those darkness decks because it has very powerful GX attack to discard two cards from your opponent Pokemon's in play, but it can also snipe for 90 and 30 on the bench, and I really like it. But yeah, pretty much Yveltal-EX very hard to beat. Evil Ball 20 plus 20 for each energy attached to both active Pokemons and Ice Cyclone 90, and you can move, for example, double course energy to your benched Friday Night Yveltal. 2-2 line with the Trubbish and Garbodor, and that's pretty much it from the Pokemons. Looking right now in some trainer cards, I really like the idea running two copies of Enhanced Hammers because in the mirror matches, having Enhanced Hammer will help you a lot, but also against other matchups like Darkrai Giratina, it will help a lot because you can pretty much discard 2 double dragon energies, and this is just very powerful, especially if your opponent attack with a Darkrai for the one hit knockout. You can just reduce damage for 40, or even prevent your opponent from being able to play that annoying what's the name of the attack? Chaos Wheel, yeah, definitely, because this deck actually does not have Pokemon Ranger. And to be honest, without Pokemon Ranger, I don't know how he actually played against those Jolteons, because I also don't see Escape Rope. Okay, it makes sense if you actually Lysandre, but then again, I mean, Jolteon is a very powerful card, so it can just strike for the one-hit knockout, and also with the Flash Ray prevent your basic Pokemon from being even able to deal any damage to it. 4 copies of Max Elixirs, basically to power up a benched Pokemon with the energy. Of course, a single copy of Super Rod. Interesting thing that there is no special charge, so no chance to recycle those double colors energies. Only 2 Trainers Mails. Actually, I noticed a lot of builds, a lot of Darkrai decks, and actually a lot of those darkness decks in a couple, maybe here in a top competitive play. A lot of players actually run 2, maximum 3 trainers mails in their builds. That's just because they actually try to test some other cards. This deck actually had, for example, 2 copies of Enhanced Hammers, and it actually ended up very good. 4 copies of Ultra Balls, of course, and 4 copies of the Seeker. In addition to that, there is 2 interesting supporter decks. Of course, the first one is a Delinquent, very powerful card. It is just very powerful. I mean, once your opponent has 3 cards in his hand, you can pretty much just discard Stadium and force him to discard his entire hand, which is just very, very powerful. And the another one is a Center Lady, where he can actually heal 60 damage and remove all special conditions for one of his Pokemon in play. I like the fact of the Center Lady because in a mirror matches, as I mentioned, you can just easily heal 60 damage for one of your banished Pokemon or one of your active Pokemon in play and pretty much take easy advantage against your opponent in case he does not have Center Lady. I find myself actually running Center Lady for maybe like last 1 year, and it's very, very good card. I really like it in pretty much every my build that I play, but mostly in my darkness decks. 2 copies of Lysandre, of course, have a lot of sense because it just pretty much wants to Lysandre one of your opponent heavy retreat Pokemon without Float Stone and just use Pitch Play Experience, spread 60 and 62 EX Pokemon on the bench. I actually remember one interesting thing. The first time when I actually saw this card and introduced it, it was maybe 25 cents or maybe 50 cents, and today is up to 10 bucks, which is just ridiculous. When this card was released, it was actually a 50-cent card, and it's just amazing how today this card is just something like a night march. It's just unbeatable. And of course, 3 copies of N, very interesting. And 4 copies, of course, of Professor Sycamore, and then from Stadium card, he definitely chose to go with the Parallel City, one of the popular stadiums, to pretty much disable your opponent from being able to set up, but also to help you to remove those unnecessary Shaymins once you're done with your setup. 3 copies of Fighting Fury Belts, of course, they have a lot of sense, even on the Friday Night Yveltal, because you can, pretty much shut down ability with the Garbodor Toxin, or you can actually attach it to your Yveltal-EX so you can have 210 HP. 210 and 170 makes a lot of sense. Now, 3 copies of Float Stones, of course. All of those Float Stones are pretty much for that Garbodor because he is a heavy retreat bomb with 3 retreat costs, but of course he needs to have some kind of the tool attached on it so he can shut down those opponent's abilities, but also your abilities in play. But yeah, pretty much Float Stone is a very good card, just in case start with the Shaymin or with the Trubbish. Having 3 of them increase the chance to hit one in first 7 cards, or maybe even another 7 cards with a Sycamore, so you can have it for a treat. 13 energies in total, 4 of them are actually double cores, and of course 9 of them are just regular basic darkness energies. So yeah, as I mentioned it, one very, very interesting deck list, something similar that I actually played against on my local tournament, but pretty much without Enhanced Hammers and that Pokemon Center Lady, but I can expect a lot of players actually try to copy this deck list and use it as its own, because, it won a regional championship, so you should definitely try this and be copy maker, I guess, or whatever this is called. But yeah, pretty much shoutouts go to Jimmy Pendarvis for this deck list. Once again, congratulations for the winning regional master championship. I hope you guys enjoy this short video showing this deck list. If you have any questions, as usual, don't forget to leave comments below. Don't forget to like this video or dislike if you didn't like it. And the most important thing, don't miss to subscribe to my channel. As usual, have a nice day, wherever you are. See you in the next video, and goodbye.